call is now being recorded.
Okay, good evening everyone once again, and we'll start off with our second day of the internship program. Today it's going to be a little different, and I request most of you to switch on your videos if it's possible, because that would be interesting then. Okay, thank you for doing so. And now, today we'll be looking into counseling skills. I'm pretty sure you must be aware of what the counseling skills are, how you need to interact, and what you need to exactly do with your clients. I'm pretty sure about that. The theoretical part is taken care of. But what we will do is today we are going to go through a few activities and see how much we generally score on each of these categories. Okay, so you need to be honest. If it was a physical class, we would have gone around, done some activity with each other. That would have been different. But since it's not possible right now, we are going to take it virtual and see the best possible way to learn the counseling skills. Okay, so before I start off with the counseling skills, I would like to quickly know how much you know about counseling skills and what is actually counseling skills. Okay, so you can quickly put it down in the chat box, like what are the core skills which a counselor or a psychologist or a therapist should have within themselves in order to start practicing as a psychologist. Okay, empathy, listening, non-judgmental attitude, a big ear, paraphrasing, rapport building, communication skills, assertiveness, that's a very nice point, patience, summarizing skills, focus, unconditional positive regard, absolutely, self-disclosure, interesting, honesty, reflectively listening, absolutely, summarizing. So wonderful. Most of you, in fact, all of you are correct. But what are these skills and how do we actually develop? That is one of the most important activities as counselors or as psychologists we have to undertake. So I'll take you through a series of story like situations where you need to engage yourself and come up with your answers. Okay, and in the end, I'm going to sum up the entire thing. Okay, all ready? So we are going to explore all these skills through certain activities. It's going to take you back in time, and I'm going to put a little bit of music on. I'm not sure whether it will be clear or not, but let's give it a try. That's going to set the mood. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Any questions before I start? Basic instructions, you just need to put in your comments as and when I'm going through the storyline. Okay, it will be a mystery room solution, a virtual mystery room solution where you need to give in your responses in the chat box. Okay, after we get your responses, in the end, I'm going to summarize and relate how these things will help you as a counselor or a psychologist. Okay, so ready? Any questions before I start? Because I cannot stop in between. Okay. Right. Okay. That means no questions at all. Fine. Great. I like this picture a lot because you see how it relates to the relationship between the therapist and the client. It's a very beautiful picture. Now let's get started. Again, basic instructions. With each slide, you need to be very, very careful. You need to observe the screen. I'll give you specific instructions while I'm moving ahead. And along with that, after each slide, I'm going to pause for some time, give you some time, and then you're going to respond in the chat. Okay. And with each correct answer, you're going to score yourself with a 1-point score. Okay. So let's get started now. Okay, this is a story based situation where this particular person is exploring the pyramids to find the hidden treasure inside the pyramids, and he must solve the puzzles and confront danger in order to get there. To collect the treasure, he has to go through a series of puzzles and rooms, and he needs to use his skills in order to reach the treasure. Okay?
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
I'm so sorry.
Now we can see the.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes. Now
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
yes. Thank you.
So this fellow, he needs to solve certain puzzles in order to get to the gold which he is looking for. He's on a mission and he's trying to get the gold. Okay, so he needs to solve the puzzles and confront danger in order to get in there. So this was the place where he entered, and he saw that on the walls there are these three scriptures which may help him. This is like a map to him. Okay, so he notes down quickly what he sees. So I'll give you approximately 1 minute time in order to carefully note down everything which you see. Okay, do not take a picture because that won't help you build your skills. Just note down whatever you can from this picture, and I'll give you a minute's time. Your time starts now. Okay, stop. I'm going to minimize my screen. I hope you all have all written whatever you observed on the screen, right? Okay, I'll just give you another 10 seconds to just close your eyes and recollect everything and write down if you've missed anything at all. Okay? Now comes the puzzle which you have to solve. You have to observe this picture for another 30 seconds, and then comes the series of questions which you have to put in your answers for. Okay, so he has entered this room. This is the first room which he has entered. Your time starts now. You need to put in your answers on these questions. How many cat statues did you observe? What was the inscription or symbol on the floor? How many ways were there? And the last and the most important question, where could be the exit to the next room? Refer to your notes, your observation from the first slide, and try to answer these, especially the last one. The first three questions, the answers were there in the second slide. First five answers get 5 points each. Tista, maybe you can note it down once they start answering. You can start replying in the chat box. Let's see who gives the last answer. Where could be the exit to the next room? The clue was in the first map. All are writing exit to the right side. Let's see. Any more answers? Come on, quickly. Time's up. Let's go back and check. First answer. How many cat vases were there? There were 3. How many vases were there? 2 of them. And what was the symbol on the floor? That was an eye. And the last one would have been this picture right on top. If you can relate, if you go back, can you see the picture? The same picture was there in the first scroll. Okay, so that was one major clue for your exit. So the exit is straight in front of you. You have to take down the picture and move ahead. Okay, so the last one, nobody could answer. Okay, now moving on to the next level already. O3 and Tista can take over. Here the man finds a rushing girl who's just happy, ecstatic in fact, and she's rushing out of this particular room. Maybe O3 and Tista can start narrating.
Yes.
Hey, where are you rushing to?
Hey, hi, mister. I finally got my treasure and I need to rush out before sundown. Sorry, but I can't talk.
But wait, tell me where you go, where to get the treasure.
Oh, it's a long way through. I need to rush.
But just a few directions.
Find it out yourself. But just be careful with the 3 men. There is yet another clue. You don't need them. They will rob you if you take their help. You gotta go.
Oh God.
Okay, I hope you all have heard what they said. Heard them carefully. We are repeating the entire thing once more, so be very, very careful with your listening. Okay, O3 and Tista, you can again start it. It's like a replay.
Yes.
Hey miss, where are you rushing to?
Hey, hi, mister. I finally got my treasure and I need to rush out before sundown. Sorry, but I can't talk.
But wait, tell me where to get the treasure.
Oh, it's a long way through. I need to rush.
But just a few directions.
Find it out yourself. But just be careful with the 3 men. There is yet another clue. You don't need them. They will rob you if you take their help. Gotta go.
Oh God. Oh God, how rude.
Okay, thank you. But this person did not get much help apart from one clue which he needs to find out himself. Now observe this picture carefully. The hearing part was important here, so I hope you have taken down whatever was required. He walks and he finds this particular clue here. Now let's see who can decipher this. You have to put down the code of this particular thing. There are numbers. You need to put down the numbers after understanding what can be the code. So we'll take the first 5 answers. Whoever answers first will get 5 points each. The correct answer, in fact. Let's see. Your time starts now. 30 seconds. And your time is up. How many people answered? Come on. Let's see who answered it correct. No more answers, okay? It's 424116. Well done, those who have done it. Okay. So he gets to move ahead. Now comes the tricky part. Observe very carefully what he will be facing. He comes across these 3 particular pictures and he needs to tap any one of them for the correct answer. The only clue which was written here was luring men into the pyramids and trapping them forever for their money. So what could be the possible answer for this?
Can you repeat the question, please?
This was the clue. Luring men into the pyramids and trapping them forever for their money. What could be the possible answer? Whom do you think can be tapped upon? It's like 3 pictures given there and he needs to choose only one which fits the clue. And then only he can move ahead. Someone's writing 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. Answer is 1, but I'll still come back to the slide when I'm discussing. Okay, all 3 can be correct answers. So whoever has written 1 can get 1 point because for this quiz it's the correct answer. Now let's move ahead. So he's finally to the treasure room. He's finally there and he's thrilled and excited. But again, to his dismay, he finds that there is still another code to be solved in order to exit the pyramid. Okay. When he is walking down towards the exit, he comes across these 3 men. Right? What will he do in order to go out? And these 3 men claim that any one of them can help him out. What should he do? Or what will he do, in fact? But how will he get out? There's a code. And there's no other clue. There's a dead end. There's a code. And these 3 men are there claiming that they can help him. If ignore and not interact, what is he supposed to do? How is he supposed to find out the code, the last code, which he needs to put in here before he can exit? So you need to quickly tell me. 30 seconds for it. Come on, quickly. What would be the number code for this? It's a 6-digit code. 6-digit code. Okay, your time is up, and those who have written 424116 are correct. Congratulations, you finally escaped. You're free to go with all your gold. Congratulations, those who are the winners. I hope you could engage in the quiz. Yes, how are you feeling now? Let's start off with that question. How are you feeling?
A bit stressed because of concentrating too much.
Yes, yes. Good point, though. Yes, correct. What about others? Okay, excited, enjoyed, fine. I was actually looking for Deepa ma'am's, answer. In fact, she gave me answer. It's a very, very rare answer because everyone expects, people saying that I'm excited, thrilled. Of course, it is there because we are in a gameplay. But alongside, it is also very, very stressful whenever you are excited, when you're worked up. In fact, when people are coming and sharing their problems, you may feel very good when you're trying to help them, but that keeps you emotionally drained as well. Okay, I'm coming to that point. Now, coming to our main focus area about counseling skills, what do you think was the agenda of this particular activity? Now we want some interaction.
That we should be more attentive
Okay.
to the details when we are dealing with the client, that whatever they are speaking and whatever they are not speaking. So our observational skills should be, very good when we are dealing with them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Can I?
Yes, O3. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So two words which come to my mind are first of all, diagnosing, and second is observing.
First one was, I couldn't hear
Di-
you. Sorry.
diagnosing.
Diagnosing. Okay. Okay. And second one,
I'm observing
observing. Okay. Why are you saying diagnosing?
because we need to look into the minute details, and then we need to find the code. Doing initial diagnosis and those things that are coming to mind.
Okay. Okay. I'll come to it. Just remind me. I'll come to the diagnosis part. Okay.
Sure.
What about others? Attentive, read in between lines. Wonderful. Able to understand subtle signs, observation, listening. Okay. Wonderful. So apart from these, also we have all heard about being empathetic. We have all heard about being non-judgmental. We have heard about being supportive. But there are other skills also which are extremely, extremely important in a session of counseling, because what happens is whenever we are conversing with a person, we have to be alert, auditory, visual, plus motor. Okay, and many a times this activity is also not considered, because you'll find an extremely emotional person sitting in front of you crying. That wouldn't be good if you keep on noting down anything. So you have to rely on your memory largely. Developing your long-term memory, your strengthening of your sensory memory is extremely important. All types of memory, in fact, sensory, short term, long term, everything. That is one of the most important skills you have to start off with. You need to build up on that gradually. So what can you do? Maybe you can see a picture, ask other people to tell you what is happening, or see a video and try to remember each and every detail, and again go and watch it, so that you know exactly where you're missing out. From body language to whatever the person is speaking, it's like a multi-sensory channel you will be engaging in when you're with a client. There will be emotional elements, there will be physical elements, there will be again auditory elements also, which you need to note down. Many cases you tend to note it down while you are having a session, but most of the time you yourself will not be able to note down in front of your client. So that time you have to heavily depend on your memory, most of the time, in fact. So develop this particular skill very well. It will come in use for all the sessions, whether you're noting down, whether you're not noting down. Okay. Second one, which O3 was talking about, diagnosis. What do you feel about that? This is part of your observation, like relying on your memory and noting down all the intricate details. Everything comes under how carefully you're observing the person. Now, what O3 said was diagnosis. What do you think? What is your suggestion about diagnosis? Should you do it in the first place? Should you not? This is a big debate, in fact. Yes, no?
May I?
Yes, ma'am.
Personally, what I feel is that diagnosis doesn't happen in the first session. First session goes in the rapport building and getting into the details, but you can always be observant about, different details about their behavior, their body language, and something you might miss as well. And that clue can be very important in taking which scale you will be taking. That if you see some symptoms in the way they speak or the way they are behaving or the way, their body language. So diagnosis doesn't happen in one session, but definitely the observation part will be very crucial over here, that which scale will you be taking.
Absolutely. So observation, memory, all these things, are very closely knit. One thing cannot take place without the other. Okay, and in the first place, when the person comes to you, even if he or she is talking about symptoms, we are not supposed to diagnose anything at all. We are just writing whatever we are observing, we are noting whatever we are observing, we are not judging, we are not putting in our knowledge or feedback about the entire situation. We are just actively listening. Those who have done well in the conversation part, the conversation which was going on between O3 and Tista, those who have done well on that, congratulations, because any small detail you miss out, you'll be missing out a whole lot of things, because the instruction in the end was, do not rely on these three people, these three men. They are not required. Okay, but we just got very few answers, right? So you need to develop listening skills, listen to certain extracts, listen to videos and note down properly, like what all things were given there. That has to be self-practiced. There are several activities of listening skills. We'll send it across to you. It's not possible to discuss everything. Okay, so these particular skills go hand in hand, developing listening and all. Now comes the non-judgmental attitude. Okay, non-judgmental attitude. I'm going to show you 3 pictures in a row. Okay, 3 pictures. And you need to tell me what you see. Okay, this is my instructions. I'll show you 3 pictures and you need to tell me what you see in each of them. I'll go one by one, right? I'm sharing my screen and you need to put down what you see in the picture. Let's see what your responses are. This one first. You can just put down your responses. Okay. Sabira writes calm and peaceful. Okay. What next? What do you see in the picture? Warm, serene, just a picture, beauty, nice environment, a person and a dog, fresh, serene neighborhood, peaceful, a beautiful and calm environment, travel, peace, unknown, beautiful scenery, vibrant, positive vibes, serene. Okay. A man with a dog and nature. Okay. Child walking their dog in a calm, natural neighborhood, castle person, dog, serene neighborhood, positive travel, beauty, nature. Okay, fine. Great. Now, whatever you have written over here, okay, many people are writing about the elements in the picture, and many people are writing about emotions. Okay, those who have written emotions, a big thumbs down if you are a counselor. Those people who have written about a child, a dog, named the objects or named certain things in the picture, a thumbs up, because that's the skill you have to develop within yourself. You cannot get moved emotionally. It's a sense of just neutrally looking at the picture. It's an exercise which you have to develop over time. You know, many a times what we do is associate emotions with certain things happening around us, or when the client is coming to you, we attach a lot of emotions to it and try to understand from that point of view. But we have to initially go by facts, whatever the person is telling you, and not be judgmental about anything, whatever the person is telling you, or even about the person. Say for instance, this picture, basically maybe someone is feeling very happy looking at it, someone may feel very gray looking at it, someone might just not feel anything, someone might feel that this picture is drab, someone might feel this picture is very vibrant. So it is becomes very subjective, it's all emotionally driven. What you need to do to train yourself as counselors is just go by whatever objectively is present in front of you initially, right? So as a practice, we go deeper, we look at the second picture and see how well you can state this. Okay, devoid emotional attachment with the picture and just go by whatever is there. Okay, and you need to put in your description again. Let's see. Cut trees, man, good going. A man walking towards his house, excited man. Okay, there we go again. Asmat Jafri, not excitement. That's an emotion again. Okay, so you have to train yourself. Trees, man. Okay, good. Walking. Person walking. Just a picture again. Okay, great. So you're catching up on the idea, right? Good work. Now, it becomes a little more difficult because I'll be showing you one picture and you need to again do the same exercise with it. Okay, good job. Most of you, of course, you just describe the picture without attaching any kind of emotions to it. Now this one. What do you think? Put in your comments. Okay. Lady put her legs and relax. Grammy, again, relaxing. You are still attaching feeling to it. A young teen girl on the car. This also. You need to get rid of any kind of labels you are putting. Red stilettos worn by a person. Okay, great. Open car window, leg sandal. Okay, great. Even bright red pencil heels, clear legs. Judgmental. Red shoes with high heels. That's fine. Vibrant red heels. She's in the relaxed position, not doing. Again, you're coming to a conclusion too quickly. Show me Guha, fashion loving person who can afford to spend money on expensive shoes. They are willing to endure discomfort for the sake of good looks. Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. You cannot do such things in counseling. You cannot. It's simply not allowed. You are just seeing heels, not even red, I can't even say that. Heels and a person. I think that would be the most apt answer if you can give, if you are relating yourself as a counselor, because this answer, that fashion loving person or relaxed person or a spendthrift person who has all the money in the world to sit and wail around her time, all these are judgmental statements which you cannot do as a counselor. So you need to develop these skills of not actually putting your viewpoint about a person in front of you. Whoever comes to you, you cannot judge the person, no matter what your ethics, values, ideals are. Okay, so you have to go beyond that, and it is an extremely important, at the same time, it's an extremely difficult task to do. It will come over time, of course, because the first impression which we have is almost always a judgmental one. Whenever a person is coming to you, you have a first impression. It can be either good or bad. Both ways it's judgmental, but you have to train yourself as counselors to stop that. You just go by what the person is telling you. Only if you can go by that, you can develop empathy, you can develop unconditional positive regard. Okay, so practice that. Yes, ma'am?
Said that he just said that only two words you used, he's a lady or something like that you said. So but as a counselor also, or when you ask us to observe the picture, is it not important to go into the details, not the judgmental ones, but like a lot of people said the door is unlocked, that is being very observant, I think.
Yes,
So
yes.
is that okay or no?
Of
Very
course, of course. It is okay. Unless and until you are labeling the person. Okay, labeling is not supposed to be done. That's a big no in counseling. We as human beings will have a tendency to do that. We cannot stop ourselves. No matter how much we are training ourselves, at one point of time we will think that the client is like that, but then we have to block ourselves and just go by what is the best for the client as well as people around him or her. Okay, so this training is very important, how you are going about developing this particular skill, based on which you have the other more important skills which you can develop over time. Okay, any questions at this point of time? What do you feel? What does others feel?
Uh,
Any other responses?
yeah, actually, we are talking to a person for a while,
Mhm.
and we find it I find it they have some codependency trait. So, is it okay to tell them that this is what we need to work on, or we should not tell that too?
See, codependency, again, there is a matter of transference, counter transference also, but that comes over time. What we'll be focusing more on is rapport building in the initial phases. We are just observing, we are noting down certain things which the person is telling, we are noting down the important aspects, and then we are moving ahead together with the client through a comfort zone. We are putting a non-judgmental attitude towards the client so that the client comes back. It's important. If you don't build rapport, what is going to happen? The client will never come back. That's the end of story. If the person doesn't feel comfortable with you, if the person doesn't feel that yes, she's being accepted or he's being accepted as the person he or she is, no matter how wrong the person is, initially for the first 3-4 sessions we are not going to give our opinion, our judgment. The moment you start giving certain, even suggestions, the person steps back, because the psyche already knows, of the person knows that this is where I'm going wrong. Maybe most of the time they're aware, they're unable to do anything about it. That's why they have come for help. So on top of it, if you put your own viewpoint and judgment, what is going to happen? It's going to like, okay, fine, I'm done with it. Bye bye. Okay, they're never going to come back. So rapport building is extremely, extremely important. Along with the other skills we just went through, there are different techniques to develop these skills. We'll send you short activities which you can do maybe in groups. Physically, it is better if you practice them every single day. If you really want to become a person, who can help others, make others people feel very comfortable. Through these activities, score yourself and see where you are lacking behind and develop that particular skill.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other thing which you would like to ask? I have put down a few pairs of words I'm putting in the chat. Observation, memory, all these are related. Listening, paraphrasing again is related. If I have to tell you that after listening to the conversation which O3 and Tista had just narrated, can you remember and put down what you had heard? Or paraphrase the same. I hope you know what paraphrasing is. You're reflecting or stating whatever the person is telling you to check whether the thing is right or wrong. If you are wrong, the client will tell you, no, I meant this way. So it's extremely important. Paraphrasing is important. Whenever you have something important, you feel it's important and you feel that it needs to be clarified, do paraphrase and put it across so that the client can check back and tell you whether it's right or wrong. The man asks for help and the girl is in a rush to go out before dawn and just gives a tip not to trust 3 men. Okay, fine. If you remember, O3 said something in the end. How rude. If you were a counselor, would you have done that? No. Okay, no. Everyone will write no, no. Everyone will write no. Okay, why will you not say that? If you are a counselor and you see this girl rushing out saying that I have to go out before sundown, but I'm just giving you a clue and I'm just have to rush out, you do it on your own. I cannot stay back. You must be having such clients most of the time. Rude, arrogant. I'm again labeling, but yes, just to describe you all. O3 over there, as a character, he labeled this particular girl being rude. So if not, then what are you engaging in? Which quality are you engaging in as a counselor or a psychologist?
Non-judgmental attitude.
Non-judgmental attitude, of course. Empathy, these are all correlated words. One cannot take place without the other. Empathy, more importantly, because you're trying to understand her viewpoint and not judging her. Okay, you're trying to put yourself in her shoes that yes, it's important. She needs to rush out and go home. Maybe she has something important to do, and try to feel what she is feeling. So that's an empathetic act. Unconditional positive regard. Everything is in sync with each other, as I've put in the correlated words. Okay, so well done, all of you. Now, we'll just do a quick thing, okay? It's an empathy building exercise. If you were physically present, we would have written that down in cards. like certain situation, we would have written it down. I would have shuffled the cards and given each one of you any random card from the group. Okay, and you would have read it out. Now what we do it is on screen. You need to go to a particular website, which I'm going to give you the details of, and type in your answers. Okay, there will be a question on the screen. You just type it out, and I'm going to share my screen and show you what people are saying. Your identity won't be disclosed, so you can safely do it. You can write it down. Just give me a second, please. I'm sending it in the chat. All you need to do is go to this website. There will be a code which will be asked. You need to put down those numbers, and then you'll get the question and you can answer. I hope you've got it. It's called menti.com, and the code is given 289775521. So you can start putting in your answers. It will, I think, come real time. Don't put in the chat. You just put in your answers there.
Ma'am, meanwhile, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. So, following the person-centered approach, while we were getting trained, we were taught about congruence. Being completely open and just conveying what you feel to your client, right? So, correspondence to this root thing. If I feel that my client is rude to me, is it possible so that I can state that in a better way?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat
Yeah.
O3 once more?
Basically, being congruent with the client, is it possible for me if I feel that my client was rude to me? Is it possible that I convey it to him or her in a better way? Rather than saying that you're rude to me or something of that sort.
Yes, of course, there are ways of talking about it. Okay, there are certain ways of talking about it, but not directly, of course. It has to be an indirect way where you are just reflecting what the client is telling you. You're just reflecting back the emotion, you're reflecting back whatever the person is telling you. Okay, it's called reflection. You're just saying or reinstating whatever the person is telling you, so that the person gets an insight as to what he exactly said and how he said.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, you are not giving any judgment, but you are reinstating and reflecting back the emotion. Okay, paraphrasing the same thing and then you're reflecting back the thing. So that gives a lot of insight without you telling the person anything. Okay, so this is a real time thing which is going on. You're putting in your comments, you're putting in your own viewpoints about one thing that worries you or makes you feel anxious. So we are seeing a lot of people writing about certain things. So try to read each one of them. I'm sure you also have one which you have written. Along with that, try to relate to what other people are also saying, what other people are telling you. There are so many things: my mom's anger, being free, losing, anger, lack of support, home, loneliness, losing my beauty, job, health, my future aim, performance, bad situations, uncertainty, failure, money, career, future. Those are the most common ones which you have got. So if you reflect back on this, if I ask you, how are you feeling, or how are you associating with so many people writing about their worries and their tensions or whatever they are experiencing? After going through that entire thing, how do you feel with the group? We have been here with, like, this is the second day. A few of you all had been with me for quite long now. So how do you feel about the words which were written there? It would be great if you can unmute and talk. It would be good. A good connection will be formed rather than just typing out. If you want to talk, by reading these words, if you reflect back, how do you feel about each?
It feels like I'm not alone.
Right? Thank you. What about others? How do
It
you
feels
feel?
very valid. It feels very valid, and yes, again, it feels that I'm not alone.
Right? Others? This exercise, in fact, you can do it within a small group or maybe 10-15 people, keeping the names anonymous. You write down particular situations. We generally do that way. We write down situations where we were extremely disturbed or anxious or worried, and then it's shared within the group, and it feels as if you're not the only person. It is a group which is experiencing certain types of negative time or anxiety, something negative. And when you share it with the others, it becomes extremely valid, as if someone is hearing you out. Okay, so this is the way we generally build empathy in a group. When counselors sit together, if there are people over here who are known to each other, maybe you can sit together and do this exercise within your group. This is virtual, but that physical connect will not be present. Physically being present and reflecting back the emotions, reading it out, feeling for that particular person who has written it, not knowing who the person is, but actually feeling for the person, will give a lot of peace to the person who has already experienced it. And the person and the other people who has not experienced that particular incident will also feel grateful that this thing has not happened with me. Okay, so that's also a sense of gratefulness. Building gratefulness is also a great way of building empathy. Like, I have so much, I'm thankful for it, I'm grateful for it. That will also initiate empathy building, which is yet another important skill in counseling. Yeah, so many people are writing here. Thank you for sharing also. Thank you for sharing your viewpoints. Well, are really brave to come up with such opinions and statements. So, any other skill I have missed out? You tell me before I go on to the assignments. Anything you all would like to talk about? Hardly any people are talking. So, it would be good if I can hear your viewpoint. Anything you would like to ask? Yes?
Ma'am, could you please describe a bit about empathy? Like, how can we inculcate empathy in our day-to-day lives in order to become a good counselor?
The first thing which you should start off is, first thing in the morning, start writing about what you are grateful for. That's the best practice. Okay, what you are grateful for, maybe 3 things or 5 things. If you can have a small pocket journal and you can write it down. Morning is the best time because your mind is fresh, or before going off to sleep. Like, that's the time when we reflect back on the entire day and kind of crib that what happened, I don't have this, I don't have that, this went wrong, that went wrong. Okay, but if we start being grateful for whatever we have rather than reflecting of whatever we don't have, we start feeling lucky that yes, if someone else is experiencing this or maybe going through a tough time, I can be of some help. Okay, you start loving yourself, you start loving your life. At the same time, that particular skill also reflects back to others also. Okay, so being grateful is the first technique which you should take up. The other parts where you can start building empathy is looking through some pictures and trying to understand what may have gone, wrong with the person. Trying to actually feel, associate emotions with the particular incident rather than just listening and then forgetting about it. There's a thin line between sympathy and empathy. In sympathy, you may be feeling sorry about the person, but in empathy, you go a step ahead. You try to figure out how can you help the person, either by talking or maybe by financial help or maybe by doing something, doing some work for the person. So if you want to really help someone, what are you doing about it? Are you contributing to the person, or you just sitting there? Okay, if you're doing not doing anything, is just sympathy. You're feeling sorry, you're a good human being, you're feeling sorry, but you're not doing anything. But if you're engaging in finding out a solution for the person, that's when you are actually engaging empathetically. What are you doing about it? Okay, in order to make the person feel better in any possible way, even if it's a very tiny bit, right? We'll
Ma'am,
send you
I have
code
a question.
access.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
Ma'am,
yes,
I have
please.
a question. The thing is, when we connect and empathize with people, we tend to create a bond between ourselves. Okay, so sometimes that bond also has an associative memory of experience, traumatic experience that we might as well as shared it as a counselor. So can we be saying that it might create an halo effect towards the patient, because we might be seeing them as a light of what we faced as now they are facing it now. So can our judgment be clouded because of that?
See, this is where you need to train yourself. Your experience is very personal. Okay, it may be totally different from what the person has experienced in their lifetime or in their own way. Okay, you have to go by what the person is telling you. You can always suggest, you can always go ahead with your suggestions, but in a very neutral way. As counselors, we most often give suggestions to people, a lot of suggestions to people which can help them out. Of course, there is both directive counseling as well as non-directive counseling, but most of the time non-directive counseling is effective in the first few phases where the person is exploring oneself. If you feel the person is not going anywhere, there is no end to it, the emotions are just going on in loops and loops and loops, that's the time when directive counseling comes into play. Okay, before that, when you're rapport building, of course your experience will count. Okay, but it may not work with your client, so you have to scientifically go by all the techniques which you'll be learning in counseling sessions. There are different modalities. What's going to work best will depend on how you actually understand your client. You can always engage in storytelling. It can be your story, it can be someone else's story. As you were saying, Shumon, that your experience may have contributed to the other person. It is absolutely correct, but you have to put that modality through a story. You cannot say that I have also experienced the same thing. It has to be a story like thing. Okay, there's another method in counseling, storytelling in counseling. So you have to develop that particular medium in order to put across the message to the client without attaching any
Ma'am,
personal meaning. So,
coming to this point, what you just said, I was reading a case research study. It said that how much a client counselor should open up. They took two samples. So in one they opened up with the clients, and in one they did not about their personal life.
right.
So both had some quite contradictory results. So according to who, which response or which approach should be like much prioritized in such cases?
See, that depends on the type of client you are getting. If you go deeper into understanding your client, which is very important in a counseling setup, you will see there are logical clients, there are emotional clients, there are people who will engage creatively, there are people who want instant effects. If they don't get instant results, they will say that you're good for nothing and they wave you off. They never come back. You have to, if you are a good counselor, you can understand what type of counseling will help the person, will actually be suitable for that particular client. A person who's extremely logical, say for instance, is extremely to the point, very bold, logical, yet is facing certain psychological problems. that person will come to you with an expectation that you're going to solve the problem within a few days, within a few weeks, and not take more than that. In case you are unable or you fail to do so, the person will never come back. So one type of modality, which is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which are more, paper based, you can work it out, you can kind of give them hands on experience on what they need to do, that will work. Behavior therapy will work. But if you go for art therapy with such clients, it will never work. Okay, so it depends on what kind of clients you are getting for to deal with certain modalities of your counseling. Okay, it is not dependent on which works for one, which doesn't work for one. One modality will work for a set of people. The same effective strategies will not work with the other type of people because of their personality type, because of the nature of the psychological distress the person is going through, because of the life event. So every detail you need to consider before plunging into any kind of intervention. Okay, so it's
So,
just
ma'am,
not
can
a
I
one
add
day
here
thing.
some?
Yes.
Yes. What I was saying, ma'am, is that I think, self-disclosure to a point is fine. Though personally identifying with the client's problem is something we should be aware of.
Exactly.
It's really about
Exactly.
walking into the client's world, leaving our
Right.
world behind when we are in the room with the client. Just being there with them.
Transference, counter transference, building relationship is a big, building relationship is a big no with the client. That's why we say keep it professional. If your time is up, you cannot stretch it. You have to be professional at certain levels. Okay, maybe if it is even a minute or 5 minutes, you cannot keep on having the session. You have to put a disclosure in the beginning only that we have to stick to the time. Within this time you have to tell me and we'll work it out. If not, we'll put it in some other day. Certain professional relationship has to be built. Maybe you're empathizing, but then you have to detach from them, because so many people, if you're going through the entire day, even if you see 5 of your clients in a day, and you're listening to all the negativities and you're attaching your emotions with each and every one, and you're feeling sorry, of course you're empathizing with them, you're trying to figure out how you can help them. But if you start imbibing those negative emotions, it will be detrimental for your health as well. So that's why even counselors need counseling, just to de stress and unwind and take that load off, because it's extremely distressing. That's why you have QCT circles within counselors also, where they discuss problems, what is going on, how am I feeling about it, because we as human beings will, of course, get attached. And especially if a client is coming to you for a long period of time, there are attachments, systems. But we somewhere have to draw the line. Even if we want to, we cannot cross that barrier. Okay. So
So,
when
ma'am, I have a question. Hello?
yes, yes, I can take
Yes,
one more. Bolo.
yes, ma'am. So, rapport building is an important part in the first session itself, and everything, whether the counseling session will continue further or not, depends on that rapport building. So, how to build good rapport so that the client actually trusts me? What skills should be there, and what should be the body language and the unsaid skills as well?
See, if you are a counselor, of course, you have to just listen, okay? Rather than talking, you have to listen and be quiet. Most of the time, when the person is coming to you for the first time, most of them will open up. If they are forced into the session, then we have other mediums or modalities which we get into, like scribbles and art therapy and the other forms, play therapy for younger children, where they tend to enjoy themselves in the sessions, and then they open up, and then you start off with your counseling sessions with your insights. For the older people, those who are very rigid, those who do not want to open up, there are other modalities as well. The especially the psychoanalysis part, if there are certain fun activities which you do it with them, they quickly take on, when they find it very surprising. Okay, how did she know about it? So these things kind of trigger certain interest in the clients, and then they take on to what you are saying. But avoid being kind of what do I say, invest more in listening in the first few sessions. That actually ensures that you are there, you're helping them out, rather than actually putting your own thing, putting your own judgment or suggestions. Only if they are ready to take in suggestions, you will be able to understand that by what they are telling you. Then only maybe you can suggest, you can try out this, these are the dialogues which you can use. Maybe you can try out this, or what makes you feel good when you are low, have you tried out anything? Exploration stage, they will be giving you answers.
Okay, ma'am. Understood. Thank you.
Okay, then coming to your assignment, I'm just screen sharing quickly. So this is what you need to do as an assignment. This lady, this girl, in fact, she's a teenager, not teenager, basically 19 years old, cross past adolescence, just cross past, and her parents are extremely disturbed about what she's doing and with whom she's mixing and whatever she's going around doing. Right, she's vandalizing, and she's got into smoking and drinking, and she has got a lot of males around her all the time. This is what the parents feel threatened by, and that's why the parents insisted her to come and see you. Okay, so you are the therapist or the counselor, and you are talking with this girl. She has this particular demeanor of I don't care, and this is what she shares with you in the first session. Okay, these are the few opening lines. Well, there, where do I start? My parents have insisted me to come and see you. I would never myself. I like smoking, as you can see, and gives me relief, a lot of relief from pain. Okay, so this is the dialogue which she shares. Now, coming to the assignment, you need to structure, keeping all the counseling skills in mind, structure a particular dialogue between this girl and yourself as a counselor, and write about the first session. Okay, this I'm going to send you. This entire PPT I'm going to send you. So what you need to do is write down a kind of a dialogue exchange between this girl. You can name her XYZ, whichever you want to, and yourself as a counselor, and write about the first session. Okay, clear on that? So these are the opening lines which I've discussed, and you need to complete it. Okay. So as a counselor, keeping all the skills in mind, write down a few, maybe a 15-minute session or 20-minute session with her. It would be great if someone can come up with a video dialogue exchange. If you want to, that would be great. If not, then you can write it down and send it across. Bonus assignments, you can gameplay, you can devise some gameplay on any of the counseling skills. You can also write about empathy building games or make a few games on empathy building. Along with that, the self-love activities or being grateful activities, if you can create posters and post it in your social media platform like earlier. Okay, so these can be challenges, games which you can incorporate. Those will be the bonus points. Right? Any questions? Anything you would like to ask? You have to be the counselor and the girl is your client. Okay. So what will be the general course of action, or how are you going to interact with a 19-year-old girl who has just come with an air of defiance, air of I don't care, and is sitting in front of you? I'm being judgmental, but I have to describe the situation. That's why I'm telling you that. Okay. Game part is like I did the game. Maybe you can make a quiz, or maybe you can do something interactive and come up with the bonus points. Okay, that's an optional thing, but that was your assignment. The first one was your assignment. Maybe in the forthcoming week, I'm going to plan an interactive session with you all where you can break out into groups and kind of role play. We'll give you a situation where you can role play for half an hour. Okay, and we'll come back as a big group. That I will let you know the details of that particular class. And about the assignment, let me just tell you this particular thing. See, if you go to your own Google Drive or whichever email drive you have, you will get this drive option. You have to click on this, and then you will have an option of new, create a folder. I'm giving demo 2 for your instruction. You create that demo 2, and whichever assignments you are doing, you have to keep on file upload, you keep on putting it here. Okay, maybe I can give you this particular, if I'm uploading this, it gets uploaded in the drive. Okay, what you need to do is go back again to your own folder. This is demo 2, and you click on, right click on it, and this is what you get, share. Okay, or get link, whichever. You'll see this is restricted. What you need to do is anyone with the link. Okay, and you just need to copy the link. Done. I'm not sure where the thing is. You have to copy paste in the assignment link which I've sent you. So many people have already submitted. Okay, so those who have not submitted, you can put it here. You write your name. I'm putting as XYZ as a demo, and you just paste the link so that we can access this and we know that you have done your assignment. We can check back. Okay, I hope that's clear.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, I had a question. Ma'am, could you please elaborate a bit on what we need to do for practicing self-love activities?
Practicing self-love would be any kind of activity which you have to come up with and start tagging us. Maybe in your social media you can make posters, or you can make certain short activity posts and either put it in your drive, or you can put it in your Instagram or Facebook stories. Okay, self-love would include gratitude journaling and any kind of worksheets which you can make for others, which other people can also use in the group. Okay, whatever work you are doing, we'll be sharing it with the entire group so that you can benefit from each other, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're going to make only one folder, not different folders. Okay, you're going to make only one folder and name the folder by your name, and keep on adding every week's assignment. Whatever you're getting, keep on uploading it in that folder only. Do not make multiple folders.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Do not
Only
make
like a, yeah, only that particular folder will be shared, not all the contents, right? Because
no.
there are many things on my drive.
If you share the folder, automatically we have access to all the content which you'll be uploading.
Only to that folder, right? Because there are
Only
many,
that folder.
yes, because that's
only that folder.
oh, because I have made the assignment and I submitted it also to O3, but I was a little skeptical. I don't know.
It's okay. I hope now it's clear.
Yeah.
It's easy that way because you don't have to mail every time. You just put it once and it's there, and you keep on uploading. We don't need to ask again and again. Okay, so that makes work much more easier. Okay, then it was lovely meeting you all. Do work on your assignments, and we'll keep you posted on other activities also, which we are planning to come up with. Okay, next week we'll do art therapy and play therapy. Right, so keep your supplies ready. Keep a few paints and whatever colors if you have. I'll just brush upon the basics of art therapy and play therapy, and then we'll work it out together. And additional materials, again, we are going to mail it to you. So look out for our mail, right? And this video will be uploaded on YouTube, so you can go and check it. Maybe by tomorrow morning it will be uploaded. Okay, then. Bye-bye. Take care. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank